Eagle Ops, this is Dagger 4 at 86752. Come in! This is Sergeant Walker separated from my element. Troops in contact, taking heavy fire. Need backup now. Any station that's net, please respond. I'm all alone here. Can't hold on much longer.
I hit the ground running when I'm invading your country.
What's up, guys? Sergeant G here from the STONED VET USMC, man. I'm back again. I know, taking a little break, coming back, man. But you guys know what it's like when you got a life, right? When you got a life and you got other things dictating, so you have to take away from some things, right? What do I need to neglect so I can take care of myself, right? Because it's about mental health, right? Super excited to be here today, man. I gotta tell you guys, I bring amazing guests on my show. Sometimes they're not veterans, and we all love our veteran community, right? But my job and my goal with the STONED VET, you guys already know this, to educate you on plant-based medicines, how plant-based medicines work, right? And educate you and show you other advocates who are fighting for the same things we're fighting for, medical freedom. I tell you guys, right? You guys are my era. We spent 20 years overseas, whether you went to Afghanistan, Iraq, or you went to both multiple times, right? We fought a war for this country, and you know what's going on now. You see what's happening now, right? When you come home now you have to fight for medical freedom. You have to fight for your own health, your own healthcare, your own freedom, medical freedom. Why not be able to use plant-based medicines that have been around for thousands of years, right? Thousands of years, plant-based medicines have been around. That's what we need to start looking into to get off the pharmaceuticals, because you know and I know that you go to the VA and they're going to give you whatever pharmaceutical you want. And if you're anything like me, when I first got out back in 2009, I was popping painkillers like M&Ms every hour on the hour if I needed to, because it says as needed. Who's going to tell you what's as needed, right? But I'm super excited today to be here with you guys, man. I want to give a huge shout out to my sponsor, Raffle 180. Raffle 180 provides you the best medicinal grade CBD on the market, hands down. Go check out their website, raffle180.com. That's Romeo Alpha Papa Hotel Alpha 180.com. To look and get medicinal grade CBD, guys, you have to replenish your endocannabinoid system. You have to replenish it, man. You guys see that new picture, right there? You see those 2 awards right there? You are listening to a 2-time award-winning podcaster, right? It's because of you guys that are listening in, that are subscribing, that are voting when I need you guys to vote. I appreciate you guys, man. It's a new year. New awards are coming out this year, so we can see if we can bring in some more awards, man. And I appreciate all that, man. But like I said, man, I'm bringing you an awesome brother, man. This guy is an advocate through and through for this amazing plant, guys. When you advocate and you speak your voice and you want people to hear the truth, sometimes you get locked up, dude. Sometimes you have to deal with the law and you have to deal with what they're telling you to deal with, right? And man, I'm super excited today because I heard about this man's story and I was like, how in the hell does that happen? But it is the government, and we all know the amazing government, how amazing they are, and they kind of tend to do what they want to do. They don't really care about the law. They kind of do what they want to do, man.
And light you the joint and kick up your legs and put your finger in the air and yell, fuck the feds. So I lay low and formulate a plan. Say it crystal clear till I make them understand. Another day at the office, this is business, man.
What's going on, Luke? How you doing today?
Man, I'm blessed, man. Happy to be here. Happy to be on the show. Thanks for having me.
No, absolutely, bro. I'm super excited that you're here, man, because like I said, well, I heard about Luke's story. In regards to what happened through Trisha, right? Trisha over at 420 Smoke Room. she shared your story, and I was like, well, what is this? What do we do? What's going on here? And I was like, I did some research. I started looking things up, and I was like, are you kidding me? This guy really got locked up for obeying the law? Like, are you kidding me? You know? And so Luke's the man, dude. Like I said, when you get out there, you start advocating and you start making a footprint where you live, right? When you start speaking truth, people start listening, right? And it may be it's the people you want to hear you speak the truth, right? It's those people you're wanting them to hear you. Sometimes, man, it sucks, dude. But Luke yourself, dude, you were locked up for what, 15 years, right?
Yeah, almost 15 years, 14 years, 10 months.
Shit, dude, that's a lot.
Yeah.
Why don't you tell the people tell people your story. Tell people a little bit of where you grew up, because you're from California, right? Modesto, right?
Born and raised. Yep.
All the Hollywood people, right? All the Hollywood people out there, right? You know?
Yeah.
And he's from California. You guys know how the cannabis laws are out there in California and stuff. But I mean, yeah, Luke, I mean, your story alone, I mean, let allow people to grow, get to know you, get to just introduce yourself, you know, about who you are, what you're doing, and, you know, your story. People want to hear this story. People need to hear this story is what happens. People need to hear this.
First of all, just let me say, man, happy to be here again. A huge supporter of our veterans, everybody who sacrifices and for the country and goes over there and puts it all on the line for us to have the freedoms that we have over here. Really close to my heart. My dad was a veteran, grandfather, uncles, so I come from a long line of people who put it on the line, man. I just wanted to say, man, deeply appreciated to everybody who served, all the men and women in the armed service, people who are actively there today. So yeah, my name's Luke Scarmazzo. I opened one of the first licensed medical cannabis dispensaries in the country back in 2004, the very first in the Central Valley of California. We opened it, did great, was providing a service to the community, doing just doing everything we could to kind of just make sure that everybody had safe and effective access to the medications that they needed. Tons of veterans would come in. We had veterans discounts and stuff like that. Like I said, major love for the veterans, man. Love everything everybody's doing out there. So, you know, the city of Modesto, like the pocket of California. I mean, California is traditionally a blue state that leans kind of Democratic, as most people know. But the kind of pocket that I'm in, kind of, they're a little bit more conservative over here. So when they realized that they weren't going to be able to get us out legally because we had a license from the city, license from the state, paid all of our taxes, did everything according to the law, the local government basically called in the feds. And feds came in and arrested me and my partner, Ricardo Montez, who was one of the first Mexican-American dispensary owners in the country. Took us to trial. We fought it in trial, didn't have the resources to go against the big federal government and what they had going on. And, you know, the Goliath of an opponent that they present when they challenge you in trial. We were found guilty, sentenced to over 20 years in prison. And I served about just under 15 years. It was a challenging 15 years. I don't think the show's long enough to go into some of the, just challenges and craziness that goes on in prison. But I mean, I'm sure a lot of people can, relate to it and think about, it's everything you hear about. And then, after about, go ahead.
So going into federal prison, were you part of this whole, how, because a lot of people are like, Biden said he's going to release these guys who had possession from federal prison and stuff like that. Yeah. And because a lot of us were like, but how many people are actually in federal prison for just possession? Like
zero.
Exactly.
Zero.
Exactly. People were like, hold up.
Yeah.
There's nobody in prison for possession like that. It's usually they have weapons or all this other stuff. There's nobody just in jail for possession of cannabis. And that's why we're like, hold up, dude. No, you're not doing nothing, man. You're just trying to appease the people.
Yeah, it was purely symbolic.
From Luke. This was coming from Luke, who was in jail for opening a dispensary, and he could tell you how many people were in federal penitentiary for a simple possession charge. 0.
Yeah. No, he, we were very hopeful when Biden was on the campaign and made the promise that, all cannabis, all people incarcerated for cannabis would be freed and their record would be zeroed out. Those were his words. He touted it on his website, and a lot of people voted for him, because they felt like he was going to fulfill that promise. And then, in last October, he does, they had a big, rollout of how they were going to pardon everybody for simple possession. But, the fact is that there is 0 people in federal prison for simple possession. Simple possession is not something that lands you with a federal prison sentence.
Not federal prison. No, never. It never has, dude. Even if you're in a state and it's illegal in the state, regardless if it's completely illegal, you're not going to go to federal prison for a possession. Like, it just doesn't happen, dude. No. That's why a lot of us who are advocating, right, are like, wait, you're going to let people out of federal prison there's nobody in prison on a simple possession charge, dude. Like, it makes no sense. Like, it's a state level thing. Regardless if you live in a medicinal state or a recreational state, half the time they're going to take it from you, slap you on the wrist and say, just go on.
Yeah. So it was purely symbolic, the pardoning of, however many people actually had simple possession. I've heard some pretty low numbers. I've had a chance to fact check any of them, but I heard that, since 1970, there was like 90 people, I think, that had simple possessions, and none of them were, like we said, none of them were incarcerated. But I'm hopeful that, if we continue to, hold this administration to their word, that they'll do something, that they'll continue to, push the needle forward on cannabis reform and free everybody that's locked up for cannabis, because that's obviously a issue that is super near and dear to my heart. And just because I got my freedom doesn't mean it stops there. I'm circling back for everybody who's still locked up, and I want that to be crystal clear that, hey, I'm coming for you guys. You guys aren't forgotten, and we're going to do everything we can to make sure that you guys get out and get free.
No, absolutely. And that's what I love about our community, right? That's what I love about our community, because that's how we are, right? I know you knew Weldon, right? Weldon.
Oh yeah, my dog.
Yeah, you and him, with the same stories like that, dude. I'm just like, this stuff, it makes me mad, because it's like, this is what we're fighting for. This is why I'm working with multiple organizations to say, hey, dude, this has got to stop. This has got to stop. We're at 37 states now, whether it's recreational or medicinal. Like, come on, states are seeing this. This is something that's got to be changed on a federal level, and it's sad because last year it made it to the Senate again. It died at the Senate, and you're just like, what? Why are we not voting on this? Like, why are we not seeing this? Why are we just blowing it off?
I think right now is we're having some issues with, because both sides of the aisle support, the state's rights to regulate cannabis. But I think we're just kind of having a issue on who wants to be the one who puts it across the finish line. You have the Dems that they want to do it on social justice reasons, and they want to be the ones that get credit for it. And then you have the Republicans on the other side who have some states' rights issues, government overreach issues and stuff like that. And they want to be the ones that push it over the finish line. So, that's why my case is kind of a unique case, because it's kind of a confluence of both of those things. We have, the social justice issues and criminal justice issues that are involved in it, but as well as, states' rights and government overreach and, small business and all those things. So we're hoping, with Mission Green and Weldon and I and everybody else that supports our organization and what we do, to be able to go to DC and talk with lawmakers here within the next couple months and see if we can kind of get them to, coalesce and get behind the issue together. And, it's not important about who gets it done. It's
Right.
the important issue is about getting it done, getting everybody out of prison, making sure that nobody goes back to prison, and making sure that, our veterans have access to the medicine that they need.
Right.
That's super important. We still get pushback from the VA and things like that about, veterans being able to, medicate safely and effectively with cannabis. And I think those stigmas need to be just completely dropped. They're ridiculous. They're not supported by science. They're not supported by fact. And so these are things that we're going to be pushing for hard over these next few months.
Yeah, and this is what I'm trying to tell my audience, right? You guys that are listening in on a weekly basis. This is one thing I tell you guys about is advocating, standing up for medical freedom, standing up for what you believe in, right? Like some of y'all, if y'all have used cannabis, you guys already know. You guys know how it works. You guys are like, this is medicine, dude. Like my anxiety, I lose my anxiety, my depression is gone, and I am comfortable with being just normal, right? Feeling somewhat normal.
Yeah.
But, and this is one of the things, guys, people are constantly fighting this battle with Congress. We are out there. We are doing it. Multiple organizations. It's not just the veterans that are fighting for it. It's multiple organizations saying, dude, this has got to stop. We have got to legalize this on a federal level so we don't get we don't get hurt anymore, dude. Like you're locking people up for a possession of a plant.
Yeah.
That's like you walking down the street with some roses and you're not supposed to have that color rose for the week and they're going to lock you up for roses. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And it's like a lot of people don't understand that because they're still stuck on that stigma, right? Part of the DARE program, DARE to keep kids off drugs and stuff like that. And you're like, this is not a drug. This is medicine, And one of the things, so on my Wednesday episodes, I've been teaching my audience about the terpene profiles, understanding terpene profiles, how they work, because that's the medicine. Terpenes are the medicine.
Very important. Very important.
Very important, right? And so that's what I've been doing is just educating them. Like, look, you already use these terpenes, whether you're cleaning, whether you're cooking, whether you're washing your clothes, you're washing your hair, you're taking a shower. These terpenes are already in your daily use. But now when you can actually put this in a plant and actually consume it, and be like, oh man, that made me feel really good. Like I was just chill. I wasn't stressed no more. I was able to breathe and relax. And it's like, guys, you've got to understand that there's a reason why we are out here fighting daily. Like we're always like, what's our next step? Who do we need to, where do we go? What do we need to move? What is our next step, right? Where are we going to go?
Yeah. And I think the next step, like I said, is, I think one of the issues that we have in the cannabis community is, we do kind of a lot of preaching to the choir. We do a lot of the, talking and advocating to people who kind of already agree with what our position is. So I think the next step really is kind of reaching out to maybe some of the people that are on the fence, or some of even the people that disagree with us, and try to show them, like you said, like, hey, look, this is a safe and effective medicine. It's been around for thousands of years. We already have these receptors in our bodies. It's a God-given plant. It's not something that somebody created in a laboratory or in, some pharmaceutical company. This is something that has been around and has shown significant therapeutic value. So,
absolutely.
we need to push that, I think, forward and be able to kind of talk to people, convince them that, hey, look, this is something that we need. This is something that our veterans need. This is something that our communities need. And I think it will really be beneficial to the larger society as a whole.
Oh, absolutely. And this is what I tell you guys, right? If you live in a state and it's not legal, medicinally or recreationally, what are you waiting on, dude? Like you have to know what it takes to put it on a ballot so the state can vote on it to whether to legalize it or not. And if you got a senator, if you got a senator in your state and he's on the fence, he's kind of hesitant to think about legalizing cannabis, that's your job to go talk to your representative because he represents you. Remember, don't be afraid to talk to these guys, right? Don't be afraid to talk to them. They're just like you and me. They put their pants on one leg at a time, dude. They put their socks on one foot at a time.
Yeah.
They're the same, just like you and me. They work for you. And don't let them change your mind and think that they don't, because that's why they're holding that seat, because they're supposed to represent you as a citizen of that state.
Mm-hmm.
And so,
yeah, very true. Very true.
But this is one of the things, guys. This is why I say it's very important to get out there and advocate. Like for us here, we're about to vote to legally to go into a rec state, right? But there's a lot of us, guys, we've been looking at the bill and we've been reviewing the bill. And we're like, this is going to hurt our medical side real bad. It's going to hurt the mom and pop stores. This is one of those things that's, if you got a lot of money, you're going to do okay. But if you don't have a lot of money, it's going to kill your business. It's going to kill all the small mom and pop shops that we have out here in Oklahoma. Because a lot of people know, they're like, Oklahoma, you guys are like the Wild West. You guys kind of do what you want when you. I was like, we kind of do, right? Like we have the medical program set up to where it's beneficial for people who are in the state, right?
We would like to give a huge thanks to Rafa 180. Rafa 180 offers pure medicinal CBD and products made locally. They walk alongside individuals to achieve a healthy lifestyle with options needed by each person. You can learn more about them on Facebook at Rafa CBD, their website www.rafa180.com, or email at rafacbd@gmail.com. They truly believe your journey matters.
And we're trying to make it very beneficial for people who are traveling in from out of state, right? And so what we're trying, we sat down with our medical marijuana offices, and we told them, dude, like our concerns and stuff. We are trying to spread the word to the people to vote no, because I know a lot of owners, dispensary owners, like Luke was himself, and it was just going to kill him. It was going to kill him because it's going to change the price range of everything, when you go to rec, And so
the laws that you guys have in Oklahoma are awesome.
Right now,
as far as the medical programs that you guys set up, I really think that Oklahoma kind of took the best parts of all the different states, and I think really from the people that I know that have visited the state and kind of just saw what was going on, people from California, people from kind of other states that were Colorado and Oregon, Washington and stuff like that. And when they came into Oklahoma, I hear the same thing every time. Is like they really hit the mark on the medical cannabis laws. So yeah, you have to be careful with how you go into rec, because if the laws are crafted by individuals that look to exploit the movement and exploit the community, you're definitely going to have
which they all are, dude.
Yeah, you're going to have some problems.
Yeah, but I mean, they all are. This is why they won't legalize it on a federal level, because they don't know how to put the money in their hand. They're trying to they don't know how to put the money into their hand. That's why they are refusing to vote, I believe. That's one of my reasons I believe they feel like they don't want to vote yes to legalize it on a federal level, because they don't know how to get rich off of it yet.
I mean, my father always said, if you want to know the answer to the question, just follow the money. So, I think that's very poignant here.
That's one of the biggest things for sure, is just follow the money, right? And that's one thing I was talking to my wife about earlier today, was like, everything comes to money. Where's the money at? Where's the money coming from? Where's it going? Where's it at? Right. And that's one of the biggest things, like you said, follow the money. Follow the money. That's one of the biggest things. That's one of the biggest reasons I feel like as though they don't want to vote to legalize it on a federal level, because they don't have the lobbyists, right? They don't have the lobbyist in that department yet, because that's how these guys are getting rich. And I told them, I said, look, honestly, dude, we pay these guys anywhere between $120,000 to $180,000 a year. But if you look at their end of year report of what they made, some of them will be like $20 million this year.
Oh yeah,
$20 million. And I'm like, look, we need to stop paying all of them. Stop paying all of them, because they're getting paid from somewhere else. Let them take that money and put that money that we were going to pay them, put that back into the government where it needs to be. Yeah. It's just a horrible thought to think that's where we're at right now. But I mean, the way society's going right now, dude, it's just got madness right now, and it's like and it sucks to be like, I don't want to think about this. I'm focused on this, and this is what we need to fight for right now. This is what we need to remain focused on. It's like, dude, you guys have got to legalize this, right? You guys are talking about your deficit and all this. Do you not understand that once you federally legalize this and allow these guys to put the money in the bank, how much more revenue this is going to bring in?
Yeah.
Right? Because that's the biggest.
And just, I mean, just on tax revenue. I mean, tax revenue alone of all the medical, or not the medical, but the cannabis industry alone is looking at like, you know, a $20 billion year. That's with a B, $1 billion year. So, you know, just on the tax revenue alone. But then if you go on just the money that we'll save, I mean, we spend $7 billion on the Bureau of Prisons in the federal system. So, you know, there's thousands and thousands of cannabis people incarcerated for cannabis. So if we put all that money and got all that money back in the coffers of the government, I mean, you're looking at a positive influence and influx into our government accounts and our way of doing business that would be astronomical, you know, and I think that's like, you know, part of what we need to sell to some of these people, especially some of the people on the right side of the aisle that are talking about, you know, fiscal conservatism and things like that. Because listen, this is the way that we can really, really help the economy, you know. So yeah, for sure.
No, absolutely, brother. Absolutely. And that's one of the things, guys. I was like, because these guys can't, these dispensary owners, they can't put their money in the bank. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I said,
and if you have a good, too. I mean, not even to go on the danger part of it. I mean, that's, you know, what kind of businesses, you know, are forced to do all cash transactions and hold these crazy amounts of cash. You know what I'm saying? That's just a dangerous situation. You got some people who are old, some people who are disabled, some people who have, women and female dispensary owners, you know, that don't have the money to have armed security around them all the time. So like you really are creating not only a issue where we're not getting tax money, but you're creating a public safety issue as well.
Absolutely. No, absolutely, guys, because these are cash businesses, guys. I don't care. I mean, you could have a small dispensary, and even some small dispensaries do that. Like, I made $5,000 today, dude. Like, and I can't even put this in the bank. I can't even put this in the bank account, dude. Like, this is not even, you know. And then you got some dispensary guys that be like, yeah, dude, this week I brought in $150,000 this week. You're like, damn, dude. He's like, and I got to carry the cash, dude.
Yeah.
I got to carry the cash on me. And it sucks, right? Because the banks don't want to mess with it because it's still federally illegal. It's federally illegal. And you're like, but I'm in a state where it is legal. Like, what am I supposed to do? Like, how am I supposed to do these transactions? How am I supposed to pay these bills? How am I supposed to do this stuff? You know, so I'm walking around with an obscene amount of cash on me, you know? And like you said, I mean, you get robbed, dude. Like, if somebody knows you got that on you, they're gonna come after you, you know?
Definitely a crazy situation, man, that needs to be fixed.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is all part of advocating, guys. This is one of the things I tell you guys about. This is all about getting out there and talking to you representatives and saying, hey, what is going on? What are we doing? Why are we sitting on the fence? What is there anything that we can do on our end to help influence you guys or influence the parties or whoever to get this going the way it needs to start going? You know, and it's just absolutely ridiculous. But we can't sit on the fence and wait for somebody else to stand up and get loud, you know? And
everyone has a voice and we need to use it. We need to get behind the organizations and the companies that support us. We need to continue to, you know, get out there and, like you said, advocate, go to these functions and these events and rallies and, sit-ins over in front of the White House and discussions and conferences in the Senate and in the Congress, and really just get out there, man, and get out there, speak, use your voice, speak the message. And like I said, support the companies and the organizations that are out there doing the real work, man, you know, and continue to do that.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. And that's one of the biggest things, guys, is just supporting support. Even if you're too scared to get out there and start walking with them or start, you know, working with them, support them however they can, you know, whether it's monetarily or, you know, sharing their post when they make a post about something and sharing it and saying, hey, dude, look at this. You see this? You see what they're doing over here? I'm getting the information out to everybody. So I want everybody to see this and start, because maybe when you share it with somebody, they might be the one to stand up and say, "Hey, let's do this."
Yep.
Right. And that's the biggest thing, is standing up for what we believe in, guys. Because that's one of the biggest things we have to understand, is that now we have to fight for medical freedom. We're fighting for medical freedom, especially in our veteran community, man. You guys already know, everybody knows 22 veterans take their life every day, right? And all this. Nobody ever talks about our brothers and sisters who are dying from opioid overdose, right? Because why? It's easily accessible. You guys know that. I know that. I go to the doctor and say, "Hey, dude, I ain't feeling good. I need a painkiller for this. Or I need a painkiller for that." And you just start popping them, right? Because they always say, "As needed, use as needed, use as needed." We have hard days, guys. Our mental health is gone for shit. It sucks. This is why I use cannabis, right? To help my mental health. Like if I'm having a bad day, I'm just like, I gotta take a minute. And fix myself, help myself, right? Because it's medicine. And that's one of the biggest things that we're trying to do, is help advocate, tell you guys, dude, this is medicine, guys. This is absolute medicine,
And I think that's why the veteran community is uniquely positioned to be able to stand up and fight for this, because this is something that the men and women and brothers and sisters and people in the veteran community have already done. They already know what it's like to stand up for what they believe in and put it on the line for what they believe in, which I deeply appreciate as an American. So this is something that everyone is uniquely already positioned to be able to do and say, "Hey, look, like this is what we believe in. This is what we think is right, and we're going to stand up for it."
No, right, absolutely, absolutely, guys. And this is one of the things, guys, you got to understand, right? There's people out there supporting us. They're helping us. This is one of the reasons they're fighting is for us, right? Because it's medicine. It's accessible medicine is what we're fighting for, right? We're not fighting for a drug. They call it a drug. It's not a drug. It's medicine, and fighting for access is what everybody needs to be fighting for, right? You couldn't. Well, like if you're a diabetic, or if you take heart medicine because you have high blood pressure, say you go somewhere and they ain't got it. They said, "Nope, we got this one or this one, but you can't have that one. We don't have that one no more."
Yeah.
Why? What are you gonna do? You know what I'm saying? What are you gonna do? Like, are you gonna be like, oh, okay, because you've already tried the other two, and you're like, those don't fucking work for me. What are you gonna do? You're just gonna sit there and be quiet and like, man, this is, or are you gonna say, "No, dude, you need to bring that medicine back, right? You need to bring that back because that's the only one that worked for me." It's the same thing, guys. This is why we're fighting for this. Like, working with the Veteran Action Council, We for Warriors, and all kinds of different organizations that are out there fighting and going to the Capitol and advocating and talking to those people at the Capitol. Like, dude, what's going on? What are we doing about this? Getting out there and advocating, fighting for it, and having people understand, hey, this is important. There's a reason why we're fighting for this, because we already know as veterans, dude, we're the first ones they're going to come after. They're going to take all of our benefits. They're going to take all of everything we fought for. They're going to take it away from us, man. And this is the one thing we have to continue fighting for, is to say, dude, no, I just want medicine. Just give me my medicine. Help provide me my medicine that I need, that I deserve. And this is what I tell you guys, right? Because I got people in South Carolina and all this. And they're like, "What do I do?" I said, "Start a Facebook group, dude. Weed for South Carolina or whatever,
Yeah, it starts in your little corner of the world. It starts in your corner.
Own little corner of the world, right? In your own little corner of the world. Like David Bass, he's in Texas, and he's been fighting hard, advocating hard for cannabis in his state. They got it now, but it's still, the program is still screwed completely.
Yeah,
he's got it. One. Yeah, it's a poor one. Texas has a poor one, but they got something, right? They got something. And that's where you start, right? You got to start little. Sometimes it starts little, right? And like this whole thing with legalizing on a federal level, I tell them, I said, just pass the bill. The bill's going to be messed up. What you're going to pass is going to be completely not what you want. But pass it and then go back and work on it.
Exactly. And I think actually that's a really good point that you make right there. Is like, you can have, all these different stakeholders in it, and everybody wants it to be, their perfect bill. But, we're not going to get a perfect bill. We need to just get something across the finish line. And then we can kind of go back and rework and tweak it and get it to where it can be, a better bill and a better bill, and try to go for a more perfect bill, right? We're fighting for a more perfect union every day. So,
Right.
you know, I think that's where we could start with these bills. You know, nobody's going to get the one that they want. You know, we have to accept that and be able to make compromise, because there's nothing wrong with compromising a situation, but it's compromising yourself inside of the situation that we have issues with. So, you know, we have to kind of, you know, the core values that we have, you know, have to be in it. There has to be justice reform in it. There has to be, you know, people being able to get out of prison, and there has to be, you know, some allowances for banking and things like that. You know, there's
Right.
certain things that, of course, we can't compromise on, but at the same rate, there has to, you know, you have to be able to give a little to get a little, and that's just how it works. It's, you know, Washington is a wheel and deal type of environment,
Yeah.
and you know, we just got to accept what we can get, push it across the finish line, and then we can circle back and do what we can for it.
No, absolutely, brother. And that, like I said, that's the biggest thing. That's what I tell people. I say, just pass it. Whatever it is, just pass it right now. And you guys can always revision it. You guys do that. We do it all the time. Like, the biggest thing is just getting it across that finish line and saying, okay, we're good. It's across the finish line. We can come back to it and revision it. Hey, we did. These are the laws that we wanted. Okay, now let's just pass it and then go back and see which ones we can add once it's going, to see, yeah, this would be beneficial if we did this now, you know, and then do it from that level. But guys, it's just one of those things that, are you wanting this? Like, I mean, I don't want to take opioids. I was taking SSRIs and it screwed me up completely up. You know, it screwed me up.
Hardcore.
And you know, the SSRIs screwed me up, and then I mixed it with alcohol on top of that, and I was just like, I was screwed. Like, I messed a lot of stuff up during that time, and I was like, this is not good, dude.
Yeah.
Like, if this is me on this level, I could only imagine what it's like for my brothers and sisters who are taking these SSRIs and such like that.
Oh, yeah.
And we're going to mix it with alcohol. We're veterans. We drink. That's what we do. We drink, you know. You're going to end up mixing your pills and with your alcohol, and it just ends up being a bad, ugly thing, you know. And it's just disgusting, because this is one of the things that we have to do. We have to stand up, and we have to say, hey, I'm tired, dude. What do I need to do on my end as a citizen of this country, as a citizen of this state, to get cannabis here? What do I have to do? Right?
Yeah.
And get more people backing you. Find out who's also advocates. Because I guarantee you, there are a lot more advocates than you believe in your state if it's illegal.
Yeah. And when you speak up and speak out, you'll see, you know, people will find you. People will come together. They'll get behind you. They'll support you, because, you know, believe it or not, there is a lot of people that feel the same way that we do. So yeah, just speak out, stand up. Like we said, to support the people, support the organizations, and, you know, you'd be surprised at how many people will come behind you and say, "Hey, look, man, like, I agree with what you're fighting for."
Yeah, absolutely. And then if you're a veteran on top of that, so guess what? They're going to even be more like, oh, hell no, we have got to do this. This veteran is up here fighting for this. Let's go help our veterans. Let's go help our veterans make their voices be heard, man. This is what I like to see, though. What you're doing, brother. You fought for it, got locked up. You're out now, and guess what? You're still fighting for it.
Absolutely.
You're still fighting for legalization, dude.
Yeah.
This is what I love to see.
Until these laws are abolished and changed, until we get reform, until every single person incarcerated for cannabis is home, I'm going to keep fighting to my last breath.
And that's what it's about. And this is what it's about, guys. This is what it's about on a daily basis, is getting up there, standing up, allowing your voice to be heard. Allow your voice to be heard, because that's the only thing. Don't wait for somebody else to stand up, right? Be that person looking at the sky and people walk by you and be like, the hell's this guy looking at? And everybody will start stopping and looking up to see what everybody's looking at, right? And this is when you get your followers, man. Man, Luke, I appreciate you coming out, hanging out with me today, telling your story, dude, because your story needs to be heard. People need to see what you're doing, or what happened, and like, why? What the hell happened? He's just a regular guy doing what he was supposed to be doing, you know?
Yeah. Man, I loved having it on, man. I really appreciate you having me on. Much love to the veteran community, man. Love you guys. Love you gals. Everybody, man.
Everybody, man. And I appreciate it, man. I appreciate you coming, hanging out with me, telling everybody your story. Because like I said, it needs to be heard. People need to hear your story. People need to see, like, oh, shit. This is what it takes, guys. This is what it takes to be an advocate. Even after being locked up for 15 years, taken away from his daughter when she was a baby, dude. When she was a baby, what was she, 5, right? Was she 5 when you
5 years old? Yeah. 5 years old when I got locked. She's 20 years old now, and
20 years old now.
That's one of the best things about being free, man. Is just being able to spend time with her and reconnect with her. She was my heart and my inspiration. Kept me motivated. Kept me fighting the whole time, man.
Absolutely, and it's working, right? It's small movements, but the movements are happening. They're happening. Yeah. That's all you need is a little momentum. It's all you need to keep it going, and it will keep going, you know. And guys, this is what it's about, man. Luke over here, like I said, man, he got locked up from his daughter. He spent 15 years away from his daughter. Imagine that. Imagine having to do that. And now he's out, and guess what? He's still fighting for freedom. He's still fighting for medical freedom so people have access to medicine, right, man? Thanks, brother. I appreciate you hanging out with me, man. Like I tell you guys, man, stand up. Allow your voice to be heard. Man. We're veterans, and people don't really like to hear a lot about veterans because we got some crazy stuff we can say, but when you're seeing it through our eyes, people are going to start listening and be like, huh, really?
That's right.
You know, but you got to stand up and believe, fight for what you want, dude. Fight for what you believe in. And this is what we're doing. This is why I do this show, guys, to help educate you guys and feel like this is important. Like, this is very important. This is things we need to be doing, right? Going out there and talk to your freaking representatives. They work for you. Talk to your representative.
Right.
Dude.
Absolutely.
Talk to them and let them know. Even if they're on the fence, be like, hey, dude, let's talk. Let's sit down and talk. Let me tell you why this is important to me. And then I'm going to talk to you every week, once a week, every week until I convince you. Because and you make a spot in your calendar, same day every week. Same day every week. I'm going to sit down and talk to you about this, right? Until we have an understanding. And so this is one of the things, guys, that we have to stand up for is fighting for our medical freedom, man. Man, Luke, I appreciate what you're doing. I appreciate this fighting that you're doing for us, dude. Like, we have to have it from every angle. We have to have it from every angle, coming together and standing up for our rights. It's our rights as citizens of this country, man. Coming to hang out and enjoy this time. Absolutely, guys. I'm going to have all of Luke's contact information in the episode notes. Go and check it out, man. Go and check out what he's doing. Check out the organizations he's a part of. Go and support those organizations, man. Go and support those organizations and freaking help them any way they can. And guess what? I bet you they'd be insightful. If you're in a state and you're like, it's not legal here, but I want to try to make it legal here. Do you know what I can do? I bet you some people will be like, yeah, I got you. Let me get the information for you. We can get this thing going, you know?
Yep, absolutely.
That's what they do. That's what these organizations do, man. Like I said, guys, go check out my sponsor, Rafa 180. That's Romeo Alpha Papa Hotel Alpha 180.com. Go over there, check out the amazing medicinal grade CBD qualities that they have, all the products and everything that they have over there. It's great stuff, man. And then you can get some of the swag.
That's right.
Misunderstood swag.
I'm gonna need some of that. I like that.
Absolutely. Misunderstood swag. Get you some misunderstood swag over there, man. They got a little tab that says the Stone Vet USM, the Stone Vet. Click on that tab. It's gonna take you straight to my store, man. It's gonna be some amazing things, dude. But I appreciate it, Luke. I appreciate you coming to hang out with me, enjoying this time together. It's telling your story. Like I said, your story needs to be heard. People need to hear it. Thank you for allowing me to be able to get the story from you.
Love to come back too, man. For sure.
Absolutely, brother. Definitely. We'll definitely get back together. Definitely do a follow-up and see what's going on, right? When things start moving, we'll definitely be coming back together to talk more about it, get everything going, man. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. Like I said, if you're able to consume responsibly. Don't be ignorant about it, because we all can be ignorant about it, right? Consume it responsibly. Use it the way it's intended to be used, you know? And just remember, guys, you are very important. Nobody else in this entire world can do what you do, and I need you here every day with me. Don't become another statistic. Don't allow the VA to put it on a check mark and say, oh, there's another one. Don't allow them to be able to do that. If you need somebody, if you need help, you need anything, see that little QR code right down there? Give them a call, dude. I'm telling you, they got 100%. They got an assistance line, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, and it's a veteran that picks up. It's not just some call center that you're calling and somebody's reading a script. It's another veteran that's probably been through the same shit you've been through. Give them a call, man. I'm telling you, they're amazing people, man. Luke, I appreciate you, everything you're doing, man. Keep up the amazing work, man. Remember, guys, here at the Stone Vet, we got your six.
All right.
All right, brother. I appreciate
Force, Coast Guard, Marine, the Stone Vet, 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 the Stone Vet. I gotta win, won't settle for less. The Stone Vet, the Stone Vet.